Fullbacks. Now, it's safe to say one of Frank's main component of attack is through the fullback area. But how impressed or convinced were we with Azpilicueta and Alonso against Aston Villa? And moving forward, next up is Manchester City. So how are we really going to shape up against them? Stay tuned for the whole video where I'm having a conversation with Johnathan tackling this particular matter. If you've enjoyed this video at the end of it, please smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. And please hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. See ya.
Then you haven't really done something for a while. So yeah, Chelsea are back. Everything's good.
Exactly, man. I haven't done these face-to-face podcasts with other mates and Chelsea fans out there. So it's good to do this. Now let's get cracking into it, man. I want to do a nice and short interview with you, interview style, and get to know what the fans are thinking about certain different topics. Now that, as you said, football's back, there's so much to talk about. And already, after the first game against Aston Villa, there's so many questions. Of course, great comeback, great win. But I want to talk to you about our fullbacks. Off the back of that match that we saw against Aston Villa, it was clear that one of Frank's main component style of attack is through his fullbacks. We saw plenty of balls that were getting pinged across by Rudiger and Christiansen, trying to find Alonso or Azpilicueta in the wings, and both of them were very high up the pitch. And that might have been a policy because Aston Villa's, with their low block, Frank probably tried to stretch the play out a lot. But what I want to ask you, Johnathan, is that with the fullbacks that played and the fullbacks that we have, let's say specifically Azpilicueta, who still seems to be starting a lot more in the right back in front of Reece James, with the kind of quality, the lack of quality crosses that he was sort of coming out with in the first half specifically. In the second half, obviously got a couple of assists, but it seems like, and Alonso as well, I want you to comment on both sides. It seems like we need far better quality if we're going to play that kind of style.
Yeah, and as you said, the main issue was the fact that we weren't getting the balls past the first man. We weren't getting them to our guys in the box. And when you have so many crosses and you've got fullbacks that are overlapping, you need the quality to be there. Alonso's known for his attacking ability. We know he's not a good defender, but he got caught out defensively. He wasn't putting enough good balls in, and his lack of pace in a game like that was a little bit worrying. Obviously, the fitness isn't there for everyone. The match sharpness not there, but Alonso especially, the pace obviously isn't there anyway. But his quality wasn't there. As for Azpilicueta grew into the game, I thought he was probably still our best defender. And yeah, he was constantly trying to attack, which is a bit strange because normally Azpilicueta sits a bit deeper with Alonso bombing forward. But yeah, Azpilicueta, he got better in the game and his quality got better. But we just need to get someone in the box. And if you don't think you can cross it onto someone's head or for a volley, just put it back and then let someone else do it in, like we used to do when Azpilicueta was the right centre back. And we used to, the right back would pass back to him and then he'd curl it in for Morata. Having a slightly different angle, like even the Luiz goal, when he put the ball in for Aston Villa's goal, that slightly different angle can sometimes be better for a cross.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was so frustrating. Let's talk about the Alonso side of things before we get into Azpilicueta again.
Yeah.
There were so many times I felt either Christiansen or Rudiger was pinging the ball towards Alonso, and Alonso was given so much room and space in that left wing area. Yeah, kudos to him to always bomb up and find this sort of space, but he doesn't utilize the space at all. Like he's so he'll chest the ball and then he's so slow to react after that. How important is it for us if we're going to have that type of play to have a left back who can just chest the ball and really drive towards the danger area and then whip in across? And we've seen so many times Alonso, as you said, missed the opportunity to go past the first man. And even sometimes when he did get past the first man, the crosses were going well over the post. There was one, I think, where he attempted it and it went, I think, somewhere into the stands. How frustrating is that to see, man?
Really frustrating, because when you get in good areas, when you can put a ball in against a low block, it's really important that the quality is there. And with Alonso, as I said about his pace, I'm not expecting him to have a burst of pace, but I just wanted a bit more urgency. I know it's the first game back in quite a while, and as I said, we're lacking the sharpness, but he just looked like he was in slow motion sometimes, and I get why Chelsea fans get frustrated at that, because, as you said, when you chest the ball down, you want a quick touch out, and then maybe another touch, and then you want the ball in, because the quicker you can get one in, the more off guard the defence are. It's the same with a shot. With that Mount shot of the weekend, he gets the ball, shoots, and he's catching the keeper off guard. So with crosses, you've got to put the quality in, but you've got the earlier the cross is, the better normally, as long as you position the player's position in the box. So yeah, it was frustrating. It was not Alonso's best game, and the first game back with players, as I said, lacking sharpness anyway. I don't want to read too much into it, but he certainly needs to do better than that.
Yeah, of course. And just before we touch on, who could probably give us some sort of explosive ability, I want to quickly touch on Azpilicueta and then Reece James. Azpilicueta looked like some of his forward runs were really, really great, like the way he bombed up, got into some really, really good space. But once again, when he's crossing, it feels like this is the difference I see between himself and Reece, where Reece, he looks up to see a target and he finds it. Whereas Alonso, it's like, please, God, hope this lands to someone, and let's just hope it ends up being a goal. Like, surely, if Frank's going to use Azpilicueta in that manner, do you think Reece is a better option then? But then I have doubts about Reece in defensive area as well.
Yes, a little bit, and sometimes he can be caught out. I mean, his little cameo at the weekend, he lost the ball quite a few times, and he was sort of jogging back. So again, I don't want to read too much into it, because he's a very important player for us in the next sort of decade. But yeah, Azpilicueta, I think it was a bit strange for him, because he hasn't been given the license to attack like that for quite a while, and I think it's almost the more he did it, the better he got. And I think if Frank Lampard can work in training at that, I think he will get better, because we've seen in the past he had a record amount of assists, I think, to Morata at one point. He has got the ability, but with his age, I expect him. Let's say he plays as a deputy right back, or he switches to left back occasionally. I expect him to be a little bit more defensive in the future. Maybe the rest of this season he may be a bit more dynamic, but if you want an attacking right back that can put crosses in and can beat your man and can inject pace and urgency, Reece is clearly the man forward, and that's why I think just looking ahead at the City game, I can see him maybe going Reece James right back and Azpilicueta left back for a little bit more of a shoring up defensively, because Alonso and at times Azpilicueta at the weekend, we were very exposed, and that's why Rudiger and Christensen are exposed. That doesn't help our defensive frailty already. And I've seen quite a few games over the weekend, even the Son chance for Man United where De Gea's made a save. The right back's out of position or the left back's out of position. The whole unit shifts across, which leaves a man at the back post generally unmarked, and we can't have that. We need to be mindful that we need to go forward, our fullbacks, because I especially want our fullbacks to be attacking, but we have to be cautious defensively, because in a better team than Villa, Man City would have scored 8 goals in 2 games. They would punish us 100%. On Thursday, we did the same thing.
No, fair enough. This is a great segue to my next question before we wrap it up with the final thing. As you said, as we said that, who are some prospects in those areas. Against City, as you were talking about, do you think perhaps, would you entertain 5 at the back so that you allow for the wing backs to have that freedom to go up and not worry about being exposed at the back? Because clearly the kind of fullbacks we have right now, they simply don't have the game to cover both sides of the field. As I said, I still have doubts over Reece defensively, and as you also commented, the cameo that he had against Villa, he still might be a little bit rusty. Whether he switches all that on against City, I don't know. We've seen Reece James against quality teams like Bayern Munich, in the likes of Alphonso Davies and whatnot, and Gnabry. They've really done him previously. So what's your thoughts on perhaps we could utilise 5 at the back?
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on that, and it's really interesting because I can see Frank going, I need to show up more defensively, and having 3 at the back and 2 it has to be Alonso and James, in my opinion, if you play that 3-4-3 or whatever you want to call it, because you need the fullbacks to really attack and try and hem them back. But I feel Man City's strongest part of the team, obviously they're great all over the pitch, but the midfield is probably the strongest. And when you have two, because that will probably what's going to happen if we play with like a 3-4-3 or whatever, we're probably going to have a two, and two against Man City's probable three, with De Bruyne in looking in good form. They rested Sterling completely at the weekend. I feel if David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, they will dictate that midfield, and that is where I'm a bit more worried if we do go with the attacking fullbacks and the three at the back, that it leaves us really exposed. So Frank Lampard's got a lot to contemplate with. I think attacking wise, I think it would be better to have the wing backs, but defensive wise, I just think we're going to be overrun a little bit in midfield. So that's why I can see him going with a three-man midfield and the four at the back, and then going Azpilicueta and Reece James. So it's a conundrum, and that's why Lampard gets paid the big bucks. We need the top four. But having said that, are many Chelsea fans expecting a win or even a draw against City? Probably not. I think we're all pretty much expecting to lose. So if we get a point or we get a win, it's a bonus for me.
Man, I hope we get a draw, man. Honestly, I'm not expecting a loss because I can't handle a loss.
I would take a draw purely because it would then be 3 points if Wolves and Man United win, which is back to the cushion we had already. So it's not the end of the world, but it all depends. City have turned it on in the last couple of games. Like the Burnley game, Foden was fantastic. So
eight goals in 2 games. Yeah. Like, I'm worried, man. I'm really worried.
But again, they've blown a little bit hot and cold this season. They've been great at some points and poor at other times. So it all depends on, he's going to change his team up. And if he plays your Mendy and your Walker, whilst they may be quick, you can get at them defensively. So if you play Pulisic and if maybe Hudson-Odoi or someone else plays on the right wing, Willian maybe, if we can get in behind them, we're straight at the centre-backs. And that isn't City's strongest point, their defence, in my opinion. They may keep a lot of clean sheets because of their amount of possession that they have and the amount of goals they score, but it's not their strongest point. So I think if we can get in behind them, and James and Alonso could do that, we've got a chance of scoring. We've got a chance of the game. So as I said, it's a bonus for me if we can get anything.
Who do you start if it's 4 at the back? Who are your left and right back?
Yeah, James, I just think for his attacking and his dynamic, and especially if they play Mendy, because we need someone quick on that side. Mahrez as well, if he plays. But I think on the left, as much as obviously Alonso, I don't think you can trust him at 4 in the back against City. Emerson, as I said before, I think he's probably done in the Chelsea shirt, especially in the big games. As much as I don't want him to cut in on his left, onto his right, I think Azpilicueta, just for his defensive ability and the leadership skills, clearly Lampard wants someone like him or Jorginho on the pitch. I think I would go Azpilicueta and James. And in the middle, I think he's going to start Rudiger. I think we all know that. And I think maybe Zuma for his aerial ability and for his power. Nothing against Christensen, because, again, I think people are a bit unfair against everyone. It's the first game back at the weekend. You can't expect us to be in tip-top shape. It's the points that matter. But, yeah, I think there'll be a couple of tweaks in the defence that Lampard will have, definitely.
Man, I honestly pray for Azpilicueta, if he's left back, that he is on top of his game against Riyad Mahrez, who's on fire. Riyad Mahrez cleaned up today, absolutely cleaned up. Before we wrap it up, just quickly, I think we all know right back, they're probably not going to bolster the right back. It's going to be Reece James' spot to take. In the left back, we obviously saw Ben Chilwell during the week and not very impressive against Watford. Do you keep the 2 guys we've got moving forward with the kind of play that we're playing with our fullbacks, or do you go for someone like Ben Chilwell or someone else altogether?
I think it did show at the weekend the fact that we do need another left back, and if a centre back's available, we need one. But I think left back is priority because there's players out there that we can buy. Chilwell, if not Tagliafico, Chelsea have just got to go and get the deals done. Keep Alonso as a backup, as an attacking fullback, someone that can switch formations, play maybe on the wing later on next season. But yeah, I think Emerson, as I said, is done, and I think he's got to go and be replaced by by someone, Chilwell or Tagliafico. I think the Tellez still hasn't been done, so it may come back around, but I think those are the two that will probably happen, hopefully, this day.
Brilliant, man. Well, there you go, Chelsea fans and all the people that are going to be watching this. I think Jonathan's pretty much wrapped it up nicely by saying that if we are going to attack with our fullbacks, we definitely need quality in the right. I think we've got quality in the sense of Reece James. Hopefully he can improve on his defensive side of things as well. But in the left, we've got some serious upgrading to do if we are going to play the way we are playing. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, see ya.